Okay, so today we have two trackballs, and both of these trackballs are from my colleague John's because he is an advocate for trackballs. But unfortunately, these two trackballs are faulty, so in today's video, I'm gonna attempt to fix them. So this is the Kensington Orbit, and the issue with it is pretty simple. The switches are dead, both left and right clicks are completely dead. So I googled around and found out that it's using these kind of plunger switches, which only has 2 poles. So I bought 2 of these switches here. They are from Kale and they are also silent switches. I'm also going to dismantle it and give it a clean, but we'll leave it for later because now we're gonna take a look at this Kensington Blade trackball. So I don't really know what's the problem with this trackball. Everything seems to work fine, but the scroll wheel though. Yeah, that's really annoying, so we'll leave that for later to dismantle and clean as well. So we'll get started with the Kensington Orbit. So to open up this trackball is fairly simple. We have 4 screws at the corner at the back of this trackball. And there's also another hidden screw which we can get it through here. And once that's done, everything is straightforward, just dismantle everything and then we have access to the internals. So we got all of the parts out and it's time to go for a wash. I also took out the scroll wheel and also the laser sensor alongside with its lens and the mini PCB, and we can give that scroll wheel a clean. And while it's drying, I'm gonna solder in the new switches. So I'll start by desoldering the existing broken switches. I'm not really that well versed in terms of soldering and I kinda lack in terms of tools. So I've just used whatever I have to desolder these faulty switches. So I soldered on the new switches and here's how it looks. It's not the cleanest job ever, but it works. And then I reassembled everything and put it aside. As for the Kensington blade, dismantling it is actually quite difficult. All of the screws at the back of the trackball are hidden underneath the 4 corner pieces of the feet, and there's also more screws hidden underneath the center ring thing that we have to also peel off just to get access to those screws. And after dismantling that, there are even more screws that we need to take out. And then eventually we reach the top housing of the trackball, which we can further dismantle it into the 2 parts. I dismantle everything and then put everything into the sink and give it a good wash. And while it's washing, I also inspected everything. The PCB looks fine. The switches are actually the exact same as the Kensington Orbit, but since they are kind of okay, I'm gonna leave it be for now. However, after assembling back everything, I did realize that the trackball is still having some issue when it comes to the squeakiness of the scroll wheel, so I found this post on Reddit and it did wonders. And since now both trackballs are reassembled, I'm gonna bring it back to the studio and give it to my colleague to test it out.
So, trackball has been fixed. I gave you the Kensington Orbit first.
Yeah.
So, a brief rundown on how I fixed it is just to dismantle everything, gave it a clean, and then after that resolder the 2 buttons. I switched it to the Kale micro switch plunger style silent type.
It should be fixed already, right?
It should be fixed, but I have not tested the trackball in its pristine brand new condition, so I have no idea how it should feel. So Yeah.
Oh! Okay, the switch is different.
It's very different.
It's-
Do you realize there's a gap between the clicker and the switch itself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's not as clicky as before. I mean the original switch that comes with this Kensington Orbit is very clicky. But this one is more or less like subtle.
And then I also found out that a lot of people are complaining that the original switch that Kensington included out of the factory is rubbish.
Yes, if you go to Reddit or I don't know if
Oh, Reddit has been such a great help
yeah,
in this
Reddit,
space.
I think Reddit has a lot of people complaining like how this switch has been dying on them after like I don't know few months or few years of usage. Basically, the symptom is like this: it will become irresponsive to your clicks. Sometimes you just have to press harder for it to register. I don't know why, but then after a few while, then you will become completely dead. It won't register anymore, no matter how hard you press on it.
What about the trackball itself? Does it roll okay, just like new?
Yeah, I mean the trackball rolls just fine, not really an issue because I think the bearings, the ball bearings is still the original ones.
And then what about the scroll wheel, the scroll ring?
The scroll rim is still kind of, wait, where is my mouse? The rim, I think smoother, but I don't think it is as smooth as
Brand new.
brand new.
I originally thought of adding some lube in between.
Actually,
But
a lot
I
of people
didn't.
recommend to do that. This one, I believe, is still the same as previously.
Before it was fixed, it was a lot more squeaky. Now
Yeah.
it's better, but I would still suggest to add
Yeah.
some lube.
I think you just clean it but not lube it.
Yes.
So
Rate that trackball from 0 to brand new, I guess.
let's say brand new is
10.
okay. If compared with brand new, I would say this is maybe 11.
What the hell?
Also, the
Is it because of the switch?
Is better than the original one. So easily this is better. In fact, Kensington is charging so much for their trackballs and yet their quality is So this switch is so much better than the original one. In fact, I would rate it higher if the ring is lube.
Okay, lube
So-
is easy. Actually,
Yeah,
I
lube is
already
easy.
got a plan to get some grease lube. Lube it from underneath with a toothpick. You won't be too much,
Yeah.
and then it will be very precise
I mean,
in terms
just
of
a
injection.
little bit, then it will change the entire feeling.
Okay, then now comes the second trackball. I think this one is your favorite, the Kensington Blade.
Yes, this Kensington Blade has been with me for 7 years, I guess.
I know you also recently bought a brand new Kensington Blade.
Yes, not the new Kensington Blade, the Kensington Expert.
Isn't it the same design?
No, not the same design.
So for
Wow.
this trackball, I had a very tough time dismantling the thing. I cleaned everything, and then you mentioned the switch was kind of unreliable, but throughout my testing, I don't find any unreliability issue.
Previously, when I was using it, I mean, somewhere around 2 years into its lifetime, the switch started acting up. As in, like, I need to press harder, just like that, the Kensington Orbit, to get it registered. And initially, how I fixed it was to, well, dismantle the whole thing and then clean the switch, and it actually solved the problem. For about 1 year, then the same problem came back. Then I think the 5th year onwards, it starts dying. Then how I got it is like I got it through basically just switching the key. Yeah, just using the different switch for different purposes. For example, I'm using my trackball on my left hand, so my thumb will be the one that doing the main click. I mean, you call it left click, but this is my thumb, and then right click is on my pinky finger, and the top 2 button is basically back, forward. That's it. But because of this switch is dying, so I basically switch it back to the top. This, I use it as a main click, right click, and then back and forward. When I first unboxed the Kensington Expert brand new, it is terrible. It's squeaky, sticky. Basically, it's sticky. The bearing feels like they don't want to move.
Actually, when I washed it, the squeakiness, I got some help from Reddit. They asked me to add some juice.
I mean,
No, not that.
no, face
Yes,
oil.
yes. Face oil. Then I rub it on my forehead. At the
Yeah,
time, I was already sweaty as hell.
Yeah, your forehead, and then they want you to rub it around and then put it.
And then it was smooth as hell.
Yes.
I don't know why your face oil can be used as lube for
Yes.
trackball.
It is a way for you to lube it.
Rate this fix.
I don't know.
I also
You
don't
basically
know.
just clean up everything
Switch
and
reliability,
for
I have
somehow
no
the everything just works. So this is the most difficult part with the slim blade. Every time when I have a problem, I just have to open it up, clean it, and the problem just went away. So I don't even know if the switch is reliable or not at this point. To the point that I finally just outright purchased a brand new trackball and call it a day.
Okay, so this one we'll call it TBA. Anyway, trackballs are fakes. That's less trackballs in the landfill, so yeah, have fun.
Yeah, we should fix stuff and not fill in the landfills and stuff like that.
That's why right to repair is so useful. So, okay, that's it. That's all. Now have fun with your trackball. Bye bye.
Bye bye.